name is Ellen Manchester. I've been a math teacher for 20 years now, and I'm from Meadow Valley, California. Today we're going to be doing two different lessons, one on order of operations and one on factoring trinomials. We'll do these in two different sections. First one, order of operations. Good morning, class. My name is Ellen Manchester. I'll be your math teacher today. I'm your guest speaker. Today we're going to work on order of operations. And as we know in life, every time there's a situation where there's no rules, all the rules have been thrown out, chaos ensues. And that's exactly what happens when people are working through a math problem, as we have up on the board here, with lots of different operations. We have square roots, we have division, multiplication, we have parentheses, addition and subtraction. When we put it all together, if we don't have rules, we will get chaos. We'll end up with 5, 6, 7 different answers. So what has happened is mathematicians have come together and they have come up with a set of rules, and those are called the order of operations. Every math problem has to be done in the same order. Otherwise, like I said before, you end up with different answers. So everyone can have the same answer, here's what we do. First thing are parentheses. Parentheses include regular parentheses, as everybody understands it. It also includes brackets, and it also includes braces. All of these are to organize our work so that we don't have just all parentheses or all brackets. It kind of keeps things organized. The braces are on the outermost level, and then brackets, and then inside is parentheses. The second step is exponents. We go through our problem and we look for any term that has an exponent on it. Now we're also going to throw in square roots in this category because square roots are just inverses of exponents. So they're just another version. Then the next step is division and multiplication. Now, the problem with this is sometimes we see multiplication first, or we see division first. So we always look at this as if we're reading it left to right. So in this one, when you're looking at this particular problem, you go through left to right and you see, oh, here's division. So we want to work on the division once we get through the other two steps. Okay, then the last step is addition and subtraction. So many times I have students making mistakes because they add before they multiply. So we always want to make sure that addition subtraction is the very last thing we do. And again, working left to right and taking it one step at a time. So let's look at this problem that we have. We have to break it down a little bit and just review a couple things. When you have a subtraction sign on the outside of parentheses or brackets or braces, we have to know, and we went over this in class, we have to know that this negative sign is like a -1 on the outside. And as we learned prior, we need to be able to distribute that -1 through everything on the inside. Okay, so even if we can put these terms together, inside the parentheses we have a -1, 3 minus 4, and then we're going to multiply everything through by the -1 on the outside. So -1 times -1 is a +1. Now here's a little trick. Anytime you have a negative on the outside of something, all that means is it changes the sign, because all you're doing is you're multiplying by a -1. All that does is it changes the sign on both of them. So if I applied this before I added the two terms, that's totally okay. But if I applied this, I'd end up with -4 plus a -3. So this negative on the outside just changes everything on the inside. Okay, so let's get started on this problem. Alright, we want to take it step by step. We don't want to go too fast. We want to take it very slow so that we hit every step. So we're just going to take it through parentheses first. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to look through this whole thing. Here's a set of parentheses, but it's just showing multiplication, so there's nothing we can do there. Here's a set of brackets. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the brackets or the parentheses, and you're just going to work through what's inside the brackets or parentheses, following these same rules. So within the brackets, you look for square roots or exponents. We have none, so we can skip that step. Next step, division or multiplication. So we're going to work through that. Now, here's a set of parentheses. So we want to always work through the parentheses. Parentheses inside brackets, always take a look at that first. Okay, so we have 6 minus 8. Inside the parentheses, you end up with a -2. Now we're just going to keep writing it. Every time you take a step, you keep writing it. And that way you keep track of where you're at. So again, inside the bracket, we have 12 times -2 plus 5. Now, when you're working with these, again, if there's multiplication, always do the multiplication first. That always comes before addition. I have a lot of students who will add these two and then multiply by 12. And you'll see it's a huge difference between multiplying 12 times -2 and then adding. Okay, so let's do that. 12 times -2 is a -24 plus 5. So that's still inside the brackets. -24 plus 5 is a -19. Okay, so that's what we have inside the brackets. Now I can take this, I've reduced it down to -19, and now I can rewrite the beginning of the problem. So basically I'm just going to write it backwards. Okay, now let's go back to our order of operations. We did the parentheses, the brackets. We know that inside the brackets was a -19. Now we're going to work with exponents. There's no exponents, but there is a square root. So because they're inverse operations, we can work with the square root. So square root of 36, what times what is 36? It's 6. I'm going to continue writing it until you get proficient at these. I want to make sure that you understand that you just take it step by step. Now, here we have a double negative, and as we learned when we were learning sign numbers, double negative always means positive. This is saying the opposite of a -19. Well, the opposite of a -19 is a positive 19. Okay? And you can drop the brackets once you get that. All right, let's go back. We've done parentheses. We've done exponents and square roots. Our next step is division and multiplication, working left to right. So we start here. As we work our way across, we hit division first. So let's do this division. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And again, I'm just going to keep writing. We took care of this. We got 4, and we still have the rest of the problem. Now, we're still here. Division and multiplication, working left to right. So, working left to right. We start here, we move to the right. We see 4 times 2 is 8. So we write that in, and we keep writing. Okay? Now we're to the very last step. All you see is addition. If there was subtraction in here and it was here first, we would do the subtraction first. But because it's all addition, we just work left to right. So 6 plus 8 is 14 plus 19. So our final answer is 33. Now, whenever you're doing these order of operations, you should always end up with a triangular shaped problem. You start out with a large problem, and every step is taken one by one until you come up with one answer. And that's order of operations.